Hello, happy Wednesday. Yeah, I was thinking about talking about deception and sabotage. And I lost a large portion of my life somehow, my own fault included, because I couldn't handle what was going on because it was so much. And every time I turned one way or another, something was wrong or something was happening and there was some trauma, some drama. And I'm sure there was deception my whole life, but in the last 30 years, I started noticing things, with people being extremely fake. And some of these people were teachers and administrators in the Department of Education, and all they wanted to do was make it difficult. Now I can go back about 40 years, going up against a civil service worker at my grandmother's house that was demanding vaccinations on my relatives, and she wanted me there for those reasons, because she knew what it was about. And this is for entertainment purposes only. But I couldn't understand what I was feeling energetically, and the fake words. I knew gaslighting, but not as that term, but, basically liars, and, I didn't align with that. There's the tone, the timing, the facial tics. They didn't match the words that were spoken. And, well, those people never got in the house again, but they did vaccinate, and they did harass, and this and that. Everything was wrong or wasn't right, and this and that. But we were picking up the slack here for the situation. And, come to find out, through the years, my loyalty to the wrong folks, family, friends, I had a different view of the world. And now I'm just out on the other side of it all. And, there's a lot of trauma bonding. And my love, I had poor discernment and poor intuition at some point. Went on meds for depression after the death of my mother. And that was pretty much where the lights went out for me. And she had talked about, well, she died in 89, so that year she sat there and watched the inauguration of a president, and that was in January. She died in September, and she said something to the effect of, well, he's going to kill us all. And I said, what did he say? I didn't catch what she heard or how she seen it, and she couldn't explain it. I think she knew I would not understand it. And she knew things, and she said things, and apparently forgot a lot of what she said. Probably fluoridation. Whatever. Multitude of things, because I'm sensitive. My cognitive dissonance had held me in chains as a slave. I am truly grateful for all of the angels that were in my path, that were instrumental in directing me in the correct way. And that I am grateful for, because God knows my heart and my intentions, and regardless of where I fell short, I've received grace for that. And I raised those kids because I knew there was something dark and evil that I didn't even know about. I just knew that a lot of these kids that went in the system or were part of the system or became wards of the state, sometimes they just disappeared or never heard from again. I had a friend that her brother disappeared at 15 and never heard from again. And then her sister died in a freak car accident, and then she died. You know, I do believe that the powers that be do affect certain people. And truly, you know, my mother passed away that year of a massive stroke. She talked a lot about that she wasn't going to live long, and I said, please stop talking like that, you know, because she just had accepted that the things that were going on around her. She told me about people at her work, the last position, that they were unusually ignorant and different things like hitting her with a door where she sat, and just stress, driving stress, and didn't get it. So she was underneath a lot, and you know, it all makes sense at this point. And because I've experienced it myself. I've experienced gang stalking, and didn't know. I thought it was just coincidences. There's no coincidences. So there's the proverbial flying monkey, you know, and apparently that's a term for it, and one just left. I don't care. I'm so over it. And I'm grateful to be here today because I've been through a lot, but I'm not a victim. I'm a victorious over it all. And you know, many would never understand the spells that were cast, the black magic, the level of depravity against people of God that you know, I thought I was just a good person. I made mistakes but didn't try to make them, you know, and actually felt guilt and shame over things that happened, and it seemed like certain individuals were making things happen, and I can't figure out how I allowed that, but I snapped out of it, I think about 2012, and then in 2014 the lights went on, and it went on and off a few times for some reason, and you know, I confronted that demon, and I knew the manipulation that was done to my bloodline was something I seen in the eyes, you know. I seen that being for the first time. It dropped everything, and that being was counting on my demise. You know, I hope it was worth the gift card and all that, because you know, I used to often wonder before that ended how that someone that's destitute could take 3 or 4 trips a year somehow, and I even asked to go on one, believe it or not, and did go on one. It was just a day outing, and it was with a large group of them, and I seen the level of depravity around me and the hatred I felt, and I was so sick. My blood pressure was shot high. I fell on the ground that day, and I turned and I looked because I misstepped, and they were laughing. They were over there laughing, and I thought, wow, I didn't recognize it as spiritual, and now I know exactly what it is. They don't have a soul, and I have my soul. Thank God I have my soul. God knew I wouldn't have it any other way, and I've fought for years to get my soul back, and I will continue to fight for the kingdom of God, no matter what the cost. Yeah, I could die doing this, and God's not going to let that happen. You know, I sat in the hospital a few times in Joliet, and often wondered why these people seem so fake. And when I would say something they weren't doing right, they would look at me like I had a third eye in my head, which I do now. Yeah, I was so disconnected, my gut was disconnected. Gut brain. I always had my heart, but that was being trampled on. And now I know that if God is for me, who could be against me? Yeah. And so, yeah, I spoke to my mother, but my father was important too, and he had a pretty tough life from all I know. I don't know all too much, but he was a fighter too, and that's in me. And I forgive him. He wasn't there, you know, and that wasn't entirely his fault, but you know, he and my mother had a lot of problems, and I think the system is pretty much set up for you to fail in those ways. There's no support, distractions, bread and circus, and you know, I just thought you just live and die at 65 or something, or maybe if you live to 80, you're gonna be, oh, they lived a long life. Well, I think the people in the Bible, in the beginning of the Bible, in Genesis, I used to ask myself, how is it that people live so long? Well, they probably didn't eat all day long, and they worked, and they didn't sit on the couch watching TV and being fed the information that they thought they needed to know. And really, when I took a class in hypnotherapy a few years ago, I almost went a year before the federal government found some red tape after 8 months, and I haven't been able to get back in yet. I'm looking forward to doing that and finishing my internship. But I found out I was really hypnotized. Yeah. And breaking out of that and a few other things and cleaning up my system has been instrumental in where I am today. You know, I'm pretty healthy. I've got some struggles, and you know, it's been a long journey, learning and growing and unlearning and a few other things. You know, losing the house was probably a good thing I got out of there. You know, it was pretty rough, to say the least. It, you know, I just was in the moment. I was just broken for a few reasons, and it's okay now because I release all that stuff out of my life, and what comes back should be there, and what wasn't supposed to be there will remain where it is. And I pray for each and every one that they can have their best life. But again, those people, I don't wish no ill will on them at all, and but they can't eat at my table. Never again. You know, not the heffalumps, not the you know, I don't know what I was thinking helping people that never really helped me. And I'll tell you right now, I don't mind helping people. But I have a lot more discernment on those things, and do not want to see anybody injured or hurt or whatever, having a hard time, because this is America. You know, everybody should have a place to sleep and have quality food, at least some food, and not be targeted or stalked in some way because of how they believe. And when I find the people I should be with, I will. You know, my loyalty was a fault in the past, but you know, I'll know. You know, I've met some really good people in the last few years that left an imprint on my heart, whether I met them in person or through some social media, and I'm grateful for those people. I thank God every time I walk away from someone, because you can meet 20, 30, 50 negative people and start feeling kind of but that one person that you meet that's kind and just has a good energy, a good vibe, a good frequency, it takes it all away. It's like washed away, and that's all I need in this life. It's good people, health, and get into my purpose. And you know, in the last I don't know how many years trying to get a job, you apparently can't get a job after you're outspoken about the jab. Yeah, I woke up again with a thunder and didn't care. I said, I don't even know if I want to stick around in this place, you know. This is horrible. You know, I found out so much so fast, and when that thing came out, I tried to inhibit the outcome. And yeah, I was called crazy, and that hurt, but I think it made them think, at least. And you know, there are some people that did go ahead and do it because the pressure was so great, and there was no turning back for me, and there never will be. You know, I'm sitting here in central Ohio. You know, I have an e-bike, a few clothes, and I have what I need, thankfully. And it could be worse. You know, I've fought through some physical ailments that most people will never see, and really didn't think I would live to see this age. And I'm glad I am here. Life is good.